All simulations of a nuclear first strike by Russia on a NATO country show the impossibility of containment. The Science and Global Security Group at Princeton University estimates, in a scenario called Plan A, that 90 million people will be killed or injured within the first few hours. Devastating infrastructural loss will result in immediate worldwide chaos. Loss through famine and disease will be catastrophic. However, these simulations do not consider a nuclear strike by Russia on a non-NATO country, particularly with a smaller tactical weapon. Containment may be possible in this latter situation. 3 options for response have been proposed: nuclear attack on Russia, non-nuclear attack on Russia, entering the war on the side of Ukraine. None are satisfactory. The first option will result in the mutual destruction outlined by Plan A. The second and third options are very likely to end with the same result. This is because Vladimir Putin has identified his country as himself. When asked why he did not remarry, he replied that he was married to Russia. Facing defeat, Putin may choose the Hitler option, death of his country and suicide. Prevention of nuclear weapons use has to be the priority for planners. In 1993, good arguments were made for retention of Ukraine's nuclear deterrent. John J. Mearsheimer, The Case for a Ukrainian Nuclear Deterrent. Summer 1993. President Clinton felt that Europe would be more stable if Russia was the only nuclear power in its east. The Budapest Memorandum was agreed in December 1994, whereby Ukraine, Belarus and Kazakhstan agreed to send their nuclear weapons to Russia in return for assurances of protection from the USA, Britain and Russia. These assurances were less than the guarantees given to NATO members. Weaker, but still significant, support was given by France and China. 20 years later, Russia repudiated the Budapest Memorandum and explicitly reserved the right to use nuclear weapons to protect its annexation of Crimea. Far-right parties in Ukraine wanted to redevelop its nuclear weapon capability. President Poroshenko rejected the option. The appropriate time for a robust response was then. Failure to do so has left Ukraine and its guarantors with a worse dilemma as the taboo against nuclear weapons use is being eroded by open discussion. In 1941, during the Battle of the Atlantic, the small French islands of Saint-Pierre and Micquelon declared for Vichy France. Radio and cable communication with occupied France represented a threat to Allied convoys and the Canadian coastline. The United States, not yet part of the war, opposed an invasion by Canada or Britain. A solution was found by arranging for the Free French under Admiral Émile-Henri Muselier to retake the territory, a feat accomplished in 20 minutes without opposition. 3 options are available to prevent Russian use of nuclear weapons in Ukraine: admission of Ukraine into NATO, guarantees to Ukraine similar to those given to NATO members, or rearming Ukraine with a limited nuclear capability. The first 2 options increase the stakes for decision-makers in Moscow, hopefully to the point of prevention, but they also risk the outcome envisaged by Plan A. The third option, which might be called the Saint-Pierre and Micquelon option, maintains the prohibitive pressure on Moscow, but allows for containment in the event of failure.